Nearly 70% of all freight in the United States moves by truck, over 11 billion tons each year. So dependable load securement gear matters. This compact system works with tension straps up to 2 inches wide. Its housing is durable plastic with stainless steel springs and a strong nylon thread that extends to roughly 13 feet. When mounted on the upper frame of a platform trailer, the system guides and controls the straps with rollers placed above the load. Once the straps are released, a spring pulls them back automatically to a fixed 90-degree angle, keeping them in place and ready for the next use. This means the operator no longer has to climb onto the trailer to reset or collect the straps. The design allows drivers to secure cargo directly from the ground. This makes the work faster and safer, while also cutting down on physical strain. In fact, it can make the strapping process up to 70% quicker. For a single vehicle used regularly, that could save around 140 hours of work time each year. Installation is easy, requiring only screws. No changes need to be made to the trailer itself. Once in place, the system works without adjustments. Because the straps are stored above the load area, they stay clean, dry, and free from dirt or water. They are always in the correct position, even when used at an angle, and don't need to be rolled up or put away after use. Imagine a semi-truck starting to tip in bad weather or after a sharp turn. Usually it rolls over. But with TAR, it doesn't. The system sits in the fifth wheel coupling and monitors tilt and speed. When it detects a tipping risk, it disconnects the trailer from the tractor in milliseconds. Made by Axicle in Los Angeles, is a fifth wheel add-on for Class 8 semi-trucks. And when it senses a rollover that can't be saved, it quickly separates the trailer from the tractor. By removing the trailer, the main cause of the rollover, it keeps the tractor upright and helps prevent serious injuries or deaths where other safety systems often fail. The device can handle loads up to 55,000 pounds and a drawbar pull of 150,000 pounds, while weighing less than 320 pounds itself. It uses 2 separate latches placed to spread the load safely inside. Sensors check the truck's roll angle and roll rate every millisecond. A physics-based algorithm looks for rollovers that can't be recovered, with a claimed 99.99% accuracy. When that happens, a fast-acting device fires within 20 milliseconds to release the latch and drop the trailer. Depending on the situation, the trailer might tip partly or come off completely. In a headline test, Axicle used a Boeing 777 jet engine to blast the rig with extreme crosswinds. When the wind pushed the trailer over, TARS did what it was designed to do. The trailer rolled, but the tractor stayed upright and unharmed. The idea is to act just in time, before the rollover takes the whole rig down. Axicle has done about 100 miles of road testing so far, and plans to expand that a lot. Around 7,500 units are already on pre-order. When a semi-trailer shows up without people or equipment to unload it, work can stop. That isn't a problem when the trailer brings its own gear. With the Palfinger on board, the truck isn't just transport, it's a mobile unloading unit. It can lift up to 5,000 pounds and fits into tight spaces without losing power. Depending on the setup, the forklift can ride inside the trailer or hang on a custom bracket outside. Either way, it stays secure on the road and is ready to work as soon as it arrives. This setup removes a common slowdown in deliveries, waiting for extra equipment or staff. The same truck that brings the load can unload it immediately. There's no need to book dock crews or rent tools. That means fewer delays, easier planning, and smoother operations. The Palfinger is built for quick movement and fast deployment. It doesn't waste space, yet it can handle many types of heavy cargo, from stacked pallets to large containers. Its mounting options keep it stable in transit, and it's quick to deploy on site. Whether mounted inside or outside, it rides safely without blocking cargo or access. Every moment spent checking a phone while driving is a gamble with life. It's time to put an end to these dangerous habits. If this behavior continues, car makers might be left with no choice but to introduce systems like SaverOne on a wide scale. It works by tracking motion sensor data. Once it senses that the car is moving, it limits access to certain smartphone functions. Navigation and phone calls are still allowed, but texting and messaging apps are automatically blocked. You can register up to 5 phones per vehicle and have 3 connected at once. It uses Bluetooth Low Energy 4.0, so it sips power and data, usually under 0.5 megabytes per trip. It works with Android and iOS, and on Android it uses the accessibility service to watch and block apps in real time. The setup includes a small control unit hidden in the car, a mobile app that switches to safe mode while driving, and a cloud dashboard to manage everything. The moving floor from Knapen uses hydraulics to slide loads in or out of the trailer. The floor is made of 3 groups of aluminum slats. First, all the slats move together to shift the load. Then 1/3 of the slats slides back, while the other 2/3 hold the load in place. This repeats for each group, so the load creeps forward or backward in a controlled way. Because it can work in both directions, it's handy for loading and unloading in tight yards. The system is powered by a hydraulic unit, and it needs a 150-liter oil tank and a pump that can flow up to 110 liters per minute. You can choose floor planks in aluminum at 6, 8, or 10 mm thickness, with a smooth or ribbed surface. For rough, sharp, or very heavy materials, there are reinforced options such as heavy-duty impact and extreme heavy-duty. If you carry damp or semi-liquid loads, there are leak-resistant floor systems to help keep material inside. One 2025 example is the Recycling Moving Floor Trailer. It has a strong steel body of 97.1 cubic meters on a galvanized chassis. The floor uses 21 aluminum planks, ranging from 8 to 20 millimeters. It includes practical features like a moving headboard, a hydraulic netting system, and split rear doors. Modern truck tarpaulin systems open or close in less than 30 seconds, unlike older manual tarps that required up to 20 minutes and risky climbing. This one weighs about 1,433 pounds and is made up of 4 main parts. There's a spreader cylinder that pushes the arm out from the truck's chassis, a telescopic arm that lifts from underneath to position the tarp, a rotating cylinder that turns the arm, and a roller that holds 1 or 2 tarps. It's designed to fit within European truck size limits and safety standards, especially those that protect cyclists. The roller can carry 2 tarps at once, which means it can cover both the truck and its trailer in one go. Everything is operated using a simple 6-button remote control. The driver can stay inside the cab while the system takes care of the rest. Instead of pulling tarps by hand or climbing around the truck, the operator just presses a button. The system rolls the tarp out over the load and rolls it back in when it's done. To secure the tarp, elastic straps are used. No ropes needed. If the container is filled past the top, the tarp still covers everything. The system rolls the net over the load and then brings it back in without needing extra tie-downs. There's no need to unhook or shift the container either, which saves even more time during transfers. It works with many types of waste, like metal scraps, soil, cardboard, or wood. The setup is flexible enough to be used in different kinds of work, especially in waste collection or transport. This hydraulic flip axle is an add-on. You'll often see it on hydraulic detachable gooseneck models. The trailer frame is built to be strong, with 4 main beams and I-beam crossmembers every 24 inches to handle the stresses of moving axles and carrying big loads. Axle options include 25,000 pounds or 27,000 pounds. The axle moves with hydraulics powered by the truck's PTO. You use manual controls to run hydraulic cylinders that swing the axle into place, and a mechanical lock holds it once it's down. When the axle is raised, it disconnects from the brakes and suspension. When you lower it, it automatically hooks back in and works like a normal axle. This setup lets drivers adapt quickly, without tools or taking parts off. Lifting the axle in tight turns improves clearance and reduces tire wear. When the trailer isn't fully loaded, taking an axle out of service can cut stress on parts and help meet legal axle limits. Experts say that cutting air resistance on trucks saves fuel, and trailers can help a lot. The Aero trailer uses 2 add-ons, a rear fairing called the trailer tail, and long panels called ATD Transtex side skirts. The trailer tail mounts on the back of the trailer and smooths the air as it leaves, reducing the messy airflow behind the truck. There's also a trailer tail roll version made for roll-up door trailers. The side skirts run along the bottom edges of the trailer and block air from rushing under the trailer, which lowers drag. Used together, these parts have shown fuel savings of up to 12%. Wind tunnel tests on 53-foot dry vans showed more than a 9% improvement at highway speeds. Because of results like these, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency put 2 setups, Aero Trailer 1 with Trailer Tail 4x4 and Aero Trailer 2 with Trailer Tail Trident, into its Smart Way Elite category, which is reserved for technologies that save 9% or more. Real-world use tells the same story. Mesilla Valley Transportation added trailer tails to 650 trailers. Over 6 months and about 8 million miles, they used 60,000 fewer gallons of fuel, roughly $180,000 saved at $3 per gallon. Another test of the trailer tail, 2011, showed about a 6.6% fuel cut at a steady 65 miles per hour. When fleets pair tails with side skirts and other aerodynamic tweaks, averages climb a lot. Some trucks reach around 11 miles per gallon, compared with the typical 6 to 7 miles per gallon. About 90% of US imports arrive in shipping containers, yet many of those containers leave American ports empty because the country imports far more manufactured goods than it exports. To keep this flow efficient, specialized equipment is needed. One such machine is the side loader, designed to move shipping containers quickly. It is capable of lifting 36 to 40 metric tons. Despite its power, the 3-axle version, which carries 20 to 40-foot containers, has a tare weight starting at just 8.4 tons, making it one of the lightest in its class. In practice, transferring a container from the ground, or another trailer, usually takes only 2 to 4 minutes. It uses a double action support leg system with 2 simple modes. In step over mode, the legs stretch out about 10.5 feet, so the machine can lift a container over a trailer next to it, or even a rail car. In sledge mode, the legs reach about 6.5 feet. This is better for tight spaces and quicker setup. Together, these modes let the side loader work perfect in many different places. You can choose from several chassis and mounting setups. The 110S has a fixed chassis with sliding cranes and is the lightest option. The 110C adds a sliding, telescopic chassis to spread weight along longer containers. The 110A uses a 3-part chassis that can balance weight on 2 or 3 axle trucks and can shorten for 20-foot loads. The 110T is a simple telescopic frame that adjusts from 20 to 40 feet. The model was first launched in 2017 entered the US in 2023, and is now used worldwide. The system works like a lift that turns the truck into a moving loading dock. It can raise the platform from just 2 inches off the ground to 5.25 feet in about 8 seconds, so box containers can move easily between ground level and a standard dock. A hydraulic hinge keeps the platform flat and locked to the truck frame while it moves. It can carry between 3,300 and over 6,600 pounds, depending on setup. The box units themselves can be up to 216 inches long, 71 inches wide, and 118 inches tall. Strips on the platform help absorb bumps from uneven ground and lower the risk of injuries while loading. Because it acts like a mobile dock, you don't need a fixed loading bay. You can load or unload wherever the vehicle can park. The detachable box units can be preloaded and swapped, and the driver doesn't have to leave the cab. Containers can be shifted between stops without changing vehicles, which makes route planning more flexible. The system fits many fields, including logistics, construction supply, healthcare, and recycling. Anywhere goods need to move fast in changing conditions. On delivery routes with around 25 stops, operators report saving up to 1.5 hours a day by avoiding delays at normal docks. At distribution centers, a full container swap takes about 2 minutes, which sharply reduces idle time. Seeing a semi-trailer roll directly onto a railway wagon without the help of a crane may seem almost like an illusion, yet it's achieved through the innovative Lohr railway system. For more than 10 years, this approach has been reshaping the way goods move across borders, particularly between nations such as France and Italy. It uses long jointed rail wagons with low floors so trailers can be moved on and off easily. Each wagon is about 112 feet long and has 2 low-floor decks. A shared central bogie supports the joint between wagons, with bogies at each end as well. One wagon carries 2 trailers. It weighs about 75,000 pounds empty and can carry up to around 243,000 pounds when loaded. Loading is the standout feature. The deck turns roughly 30 degrees to line up with ramped lanes in special terminals. Trailers are then rolled straight on and off. Afterward, the deck swings back into line with the tracks. The terminals have ground-level tracks and hydraulic pockets that make this movement possible. Depending on the site, a terminal can work with a full train about 2,625 feet long, or shorter segments around 1,300 feet. With good conditions, a whole train can be loaded in as little as 15 minutes. More commonly, it takes about 30 to 90 minutes. Several wagons can be worked at the same time, which cuts waiting time for the train. The system uses standard rail parts to keep maintenance simpler, and while its main method is horizontal, the wagons can also take clamp-on trailers using cranes at terminals that support vertical handling. Designed to move people, literally and figuratively, the Expandable Touchdown lives up to its name. On the road, it tows like a standard trailer. At the destination, it converts in just 15 minutes, turning into an office, a shop, or nearly any kind of space you need. The largest version, at 53 feet, opens up to give around 807 square feet of indoor space. When expanded, it measures nearly 16 feet wide and almost 10 feet tall, offering a roomy interior. A smaller 38-foot version provides about 560 square feet. While traveling, both shrink down to the size of a standard trailer, making them easy to move. Using a hydraulic control panel, the system automatically extends its support legs, moves the axle back, and lowers itself close to the ground. An auto leveling feature makes sure the unit sits evenly, even if the ground is not flat. Inside, the walls extend outward through slide-out sections, creating much more floor space. Some models even have rooftop terraces that can be reached with a spiral staircase. The structure uses strong materials, including reinforced glass and a sturdy frame. Depending on the version, the interior can include features like dual air conditioning, LED lights, heated floors, and plenty of electrical outlets. A built-in battery makes setup possible even without a power source, and it recharges when connected to the grid. Because it's made using standardized manufacturing, delivery can happen fairly quickly, often within 14 to 20 weeks. The price starts at $297,360. Honestly, how do you price this kind of mobility? Meet the Zacklift D-BOOM arm. It turns a truck into a multi-purpose powerhouse. It is designed to easily fit onto an existing fifth-wheeler system using just 2 pins. This means there's no need for major changes. When pulled in, it can handle loads up to 50,000 pounds, and when fully stretched out, it manages 18,000 pounds. The unit itself weighs 5,200 pounds and hooks directly into the truck's hydraulic system through a chassis receiver bracket. It comes with a winch that has 200 feet of wire rope, a pivot bracket for the boom, and is already wired for hydraulic controls. It was made in Washington and was introduced alongside other models like the Genesis and S-Tau. What makes it stand out is that, unlike systems requiring full vehicle rebuilding, the retracted position allows for the heaviest lifting, while the extended position provides extra reach without losing function. The worn 20K winch gives it immediate pulling power, and the available upgrades make it adaptable for different recovery jobs. Since it connects straight into the truck's hydraulics, there's no need for big changes to the chassis. This vehicle is built from the ground up to be a mobile billboard. It's based on a Ford Transit 350 chassis, ordered directly from the factory, so it can handle the extra weight and power needs of high-powered LED screens. It's not a converted work van. The whole platform is chosen to withstand constant use. An aluminum body holds the LED display, engineered from scratch to keep the structure stiff and stable while driving. Power comes from a 20 kilowatt super quiet diesel generator. It runs the screens and onboard electronics continuously. The display uses SMD-LED panels with a P2.9 or P3 pixel pitch, meaning the pixels are close together for a sharp, clear image that looks good up close and from different angles. Content is delivered through the cloud using a remote media player. There's no need for a computer inside the truck, and updates can be pushed in real time. This keeps things simple for drivers and technicians, and reduces the chance of failures or delays. This setup meets growing demand in out-of-home advertising, a segment producing over $1.8 billion annually within a $7.7 billion market. Lead Innovations, founded in 2022, is expanding through a franchise model. They use street metrics for digital analytics, including impression tracking, campaign reach, and audience mapping to measure and improve results. The MK1 E-Master is fully electric. It uses 2 efficient motors to run a dual-pressure hydraulic system. Power comes from lithium battery blocks. You can install from 1 up to 5. In normal use, it runs about 8 to 16 hours. For non-stop, multi-shift work, you just add more blocks. The built-in 10 kilowatt charger takes roughly 2 to 12 hours, while an external 50 kilowatt fast charger can fill it up in about 20 minutes. A battery management system keeps an eye on heat and battery health, and you can expect around 1,000 full charge cycles before you notice performance changes. The hydraulics are self-contained and don't rely on a tractor. Energy-saving accumulators capture more than half of the lifting energy, cutting electricity use. A smart monitor records cycles, temperature, speed, and battery level every 10 milliseconds. This data syncs to the cloud and can tie into your warehouse and fleet software. Sensors read traction, steering, and pressure based on the load and tune the machine in real time. You can add an AI-assisted rear camera to see better in areas with foot traffic. You can add the safe roll hydraulic gooseneck for easier cassette handling and fewer manual steps. Because it runs on electricity, the MK1 E-Master can cut annual emissions by up to 60,000 kilograms of CO2, about the same as 31 passenger cars. Another challenging day on the road for a truck driver. This time, he's tasked with hauling a heavy cable drum along rough off-road terrain. Still, he remains confident. The reason? He's equipped with a compact, high-tech trailer built specifically for carrying cable drums. It can handle drums about 94 to 177 inches in diameter and up to 94 inches wide. The trailer's rated load is estimated around 26,000 pounds. It uses a steel frame with road gear like dual-line air brakes and lights. The electric motor turns the drum directly, so crews don't need separate machines or hand cranks. A hydraulic lift raises the drum from the ground onto the trailer. Once it's on, mechanical locks and adjustable restraints keep it steady while moving. The powered rotation makes unspooling easier over long runs or uneven ground. Because it can both carry and unroll the cable, the trailer reduces the number of steps on site. Adjustable frame parts help it fit different drum sizes. This unit turns a standard road tractor into a heavy-duty tow truck. When the boom is pulled in, it can lift up to 35,000 pounds. When it's extended, it can lift 16,000 pounds. The reach ranges from 51 inches to 113 inches past the tailboard, depending on how you set it up. A powered tilt of 20 degrees helps you line up the hook and release it smoothly. The unit itself weighs about 6,200 pounds and comes with a 20,000-pound planetary winch. It locks onto the tractor using a front lockdown bracket and the fifth wheel plate, so the connection stays secure. You can add an optional wetline hydraulic kit for independent hydraulics, which includes a PTO, pump, reservoir, and quick connect couplers. The design shifts weight forward, shortens the rear overhang, and increases load on the front axle. That makes the tractor handle better and feel more stable while towing. Quick release front legs let you drop the unit in minutes to cut down time. Controls are on the passenger side to keep operators safer during roadside work, and safety chains add another layer of security. Lift fork storage is built in, so it doesn't take up extra space. Standard features include quick connect air and electrical hookups, front stabilizer stands, a low-profile pivoting crossbar with a 70-degree range, and chain hook end caps. To use it, your tractor should have at least a 250-inch wheelbase and at least 84 inches of clearance from the front of the unit to the trunnion center. In the 2025, Renault trucks' old side mirrors are replaced by small cameras. They sit on folding wings that help the truck cut through the air. Two screens inside the cab show a live view of what's behind and beside the truck, and the picture stays clear in different lighting. This setup gives the driver a wider, more precise view. Called Rear Digital Vision, it shows areas that normal mirrors can miss, including blind spots. The cameras are placed to help the driver make better choices when turning, overtaking, and reversing. But the most important feature is the added safety for vulnerable road users. The side detection radar alerts the driver to the presence of cyclists and pedestrians, making city routes much safer. The video feed stays sharp day and night, so the driver doesn't have to keep moving their head to check around. That reduces tiredness on long trips and helps driver during tricky maneuvers. The image remains stable even when the truck vibrates. The French team at Gaussin, famous among motorsport fans for their hydrogen-powered Dakar truck, is pushing ahead with promising hydrogen technology. One of their newest projects is a hydrogen platform for trucks and tractors. A 20-minute refuel can provide up to 800 kilometers of range, and the platform can handle loads up to 40 tons. It comes in two versions, one powered by hydrogen that can go up to 500 miles, and another powered by batteries that can travel 250 miles per charge. The battery version also allows a full swap in just 3 minutes. Both versions can reach speeds of 55 miles per hour. The chassis is about 880 pounds lighter than traditional truck frames. Its design can be adjusted in length, height, and axle setup. A universal mounting plate also makes it easier to attach equipment such as trailers, tanks, or flatbeds. The platform has an open interface that works with autonomous driving software. It is protected by several patents focusing on flexible design and easy integration into manufacturing. Because it can connect to outside software systems without major changes, manufacturers and transport companies can get it into use more quickly. With this project, Gaussin is stepping into the market for zero-emission road freight. To spread adoption, it launched a licensing plan aimed at giving out 41 licenses in 3 years. If the plan succeeds, the platform could make up about 5% of the clean truck market by 2031, which would be around 450,000 vehicles. The Halo inflator has smart sensors built into it. They stay in place even when you service the tire. It connects through Bluetooth, radio, the vehicle data network, GPS, and LTE, so it can talk to your fleet software and the truck's electronics. Each unit installs in about 5 minutes and doesn't need special tools. These sensors read tire pressure right at the wheel. They send and receive updates in real time. Fleet managers can adjust target pressures from anywhere, based on load or road conditions. Halo Connect i3 is an automatic tire inflation and analytics system for medium and heavy-duty trucks and trailers, and it works to predict problems before they happen. It's trained on more than 100 billion miles of fleet data and is running on over 1 million tires. The analytics can spot pressure drops, uneven wear, and likely failure points. It filters out false alarms from quick temperature changes and only flags the important alerts. The tread diagnostics feature can use several data sources, including advanced handheld 3D scanners. It gives clear feedback on alignment issues, uneven wear, or mismatched tires. Technicians get tire-specific, position-specific data so they can fix problems faster without checking the whole vehicle. Reports can be scheduled at different times and tailored to each fleet. With steady, correct inflation, fleets can see 1 to 2% better fuel economy, up to 70% fewer tire-related roadside incidents, and around 3 tons less CO2 per truck each year. That can add up to about $2,000 saved per vehicle. The deadliest flood in U.S. history was the 1889 Johnstown flood in Pennsylvania, when a dam burst and released 20 million tons of water, killing more than 2,200 people within minutes. That tragedy showed just how devastating uncontrolled water can be. To manage large volumes of water, modern systems are built with powerful technology. One example is a pumping unit that uses 2 submersible centrifugal pumps capable of moving up to 6,000 gallons per minute. Driven by a diesel-powered hydraulic system and supported by a 200-gallon fuel tank, the unit can run for about 8 hours. The machine is very strong, built with a carbon steel frame that's 16 feet long, 8 feet wide, over 8 feet tall, and weighs nearly 15 tons. There are several ways to deploy it: as a base skid, with a hook lift, or as a trailer. Towing options include kingpin, lunette, pintle, or ball hitches, so it can fit different vehicles and setups. Controls are simple. A sealed LCD panel shows engine information, and waterproof switches run the hydraulic functions. Floating intake modules weigh about 300 pounds each. They can be moved by hand and connect quickly using quick disconnect fittings. Knapen equips many of its trailers with lift axles, giving customers an edge on demanding routes. The axle can raise automatically based on load, or be operated manually. Think of them as extra axles you can raise or lower, depending on how heavy the load is. Airbags, or air cylinders, controlled by a valve, do the lifting. Each axle can carry up to 9,000 kilograms. Most trailers have 3 or 4 axles, with the first or third usually set up to lift. Typical wheelbase is around 356 inches. The lift axle works together with the trailer's electronic braking system. So when the trailer is heavy, the EBS lowers the lift axle to spread the weight across more wheels. When the load is light, it raises the axle to reduce rolling resistance and save fuel. You can also control it yourself with a remote, an in-cab switch, a control panel on the trailer, or by pressing the brake pedal in a specific pattern. On slippery ground, or when the trailer isn't fully loaded, lowering the front lift axle shifts more weight to the drive axle, giving you better traction. In tight spaces, raising the rear axle shortens the effective wheelbase so the trailer can turn more sharply without stressing the mechanics. The Finnish company VAMA provides a road maintenance solution that requires no special equipment. A small trailer and, for example, a van are enough. Despite its simplicity, the system is highly efficient, allowing work once done by full crews to be completed by a single operator. It automatically picks up snowplow marker sticks without stopping the vehicle. It works at speeds up to 18.6 miles per hour and covers a 118-inch wide area, so it can collect markers from both sides of the road in one pass. It weighs about 551 pounds, runs on a 4-kilowatt air-cooled engine, and uses the host vehicle for its electrical power. Each stick takes about 8 to 12 seconds to collect, roughly 150 per hour. It mounts securely on trailers, truck beds, or similar platforms, and nothing sticks out during transport. Sensors on the machine spot the roadside sticks. When one is detected, a collection arm lifts it into an onboard container automatically while the vehicle keeps moving. Because workers don't need to get out, they spend less time near traffic and face fewer hazards. With no stopping or manual handling, crews keep their momentum and finish routes more quickly. SLEIPNER DB45 is built to move heavy tracked machines. It can carry up to 45 tons, while the trailer itself weighs 11 tons. The load deck is about 3.6 meters and about 4.8 meters. Top speed is about 9 miles per hour when loaded and 18 miles per hour when empty. It's built for all weather, with an operating range from -40 degrees Fahrenheit to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Loading and unloading are quick thanks to a tilting bed and a tight turning radius, so it handles uneven or cramped sites well. It's set up for machines of roughly 35 tons, such as dozers, drills, and excavators from Epiroc, Sandvik, and Caterpillar. It can also carry wheeled machines, containers, and other modules. Hooking the trailer to an ADT takes only a few minutes, so crews can switch between hauling and normal dump truck work fast. Once in use, it can cut machine travel time by as much as 85%. That speeds up daily cycles and can lift fleet output by 12 to 20%. Because machines spend less time trimming on their tracks, undercarriage wear can drop by up to 50%, maintenance needs by around 20%, and overall life cycle costs by about 10 to 18%. The trailer's onboard systems manage all the braking and hydraulics. A low center of gravity and smart wheel placement keep it stable. The team at Hyliion is developing a very promising powertrain called the Hypertruck ERX. Built for semi-trucks, it uses a blend of gas and electric power. In this setup, the internal combustion engine's sole job is to generate electricity. It isn't connected to the clutch or transmission, and that's only the beginning. 2 electric motors, each with a 2-speed gearbox, drive the rear axles. Together, they make about 670 horsepower at the wheels. On battery power alone, it can go roughly 75 miles. After that, a natural gas engine turns on, but only to generate electricity. It never connects to the wheels. Instead, it feeds the batteries so the truck can keep going for over 1,000 miles in total. Fuel is stored in up to 4 compressed natural gas tanks, with capacity similar to about 175 gallons of diesel. Lighter 2 or 3 tank setups are also available. The truck uses smart charging logic that looks at the route ahead. If a downhill is coming, or a place where braking will recapture energy, it lets the battery run lower first. In geofenced city or warehouse areas, it prioritizes quiet, zero tailpipe emission electric driving. Inside, it's much quieter, about 10 decibels less than comparable diesels when in electric mode. Acceleration is instant, both from a stop and on the highway. Regenerative braking can be adjusted with a stalk on the steering column, making one-pedal driving possible by choosing how strongly the truck slows and recovers energy. EcoFlaps and EcoCaps are special add-on parts made from a strong nylon material that lasts a long time. Each EcoCap is very light, only 1.8 pounds, and can be attached to a wheel in less than 5 seconds. EcoFlaps weigh less than 3 pounds, are easy to mount using angled brackets, and meet safety standards set by the Department of Transportation. Both products are approved by the EPA's SmartWay program, meaning they are recognized for helping save fuel. Mesilla Valley Transportation Solutions tested these products using its fuel economy program. The tests took place on a 9-mile closed track in Pecos, Texas, at a steady speed of 65 miles per hour. The test vehicles carried between 39,000 and 45,000 pounds and used dual tires on all axles. To make sure results were accurate, they used fuel flow meters, GPS, pressure sensors, and temperature sensors for both tires and air. Their measurements were very precise, with only a 0.2 to 0.5% margin of error. When EcoFlaps and EcoCaps were used together on a truck and trailer, fuel savings reached 1.7 gallons per 1,000 miles. Road maintenance is getting simpler and faster. The MRL GrindPro system handles multiple tasks that used to require a full crew. It is built to remove pavement and prep surfaces. It uses 2 or 4 cutting heads, each 20 inches in diameter. You can set the removal width to roughly 9 to 13 inches, so it works for small or large jobs. The hydrostatic drive lets you move as slowly as 0.1 miles per hour, which helps with consistent work. It can handle many tasks with its tooling system: grinding, grooving, plunge cuts, slot cuts for raised markers, and removing curing compounds. You can also add attachments for inlaid markings and markings that work with snow plows. Dust is pulled up by a vacuum, and a hydraulic tilt chassis keeps the heads in contact with surfaces. That helps collect debris evenly. Based on how it's set up, debris can be dumped by tilting, by an auger from the bottom, or lifted high for dumping. Hydraulics powers the saw heads, vacuum, and onboard compressor. Oil coolers and a multi-stage filter help the system run well for long periods. All controls run through MRL's touchscreen, which records data in real time. The 2025 updates add a few key improvements: the ability to run 4 boxes at once, larger 14-inch saw boxes for better reach, and improved airflow. Each saw box can now be set to its own depth. Lamax brings a sense of comfort and familiarity to the demanding world of freight transport. The company designs sleeper cabins that fit a wide variety of trucks, ranging from Renault to Evco. They are built with care for both the outside shape and the inside layout. The streamlined exterior helps the truck use less fuel by reducing drag. This is especially important for drivers and companies who spend long hours and long distances on the road. Inside, the cabins come in different layouts, giving drivers practical and comfortable options when they spend weeks away from home. One of the key features is the sleeping area. Some models include a proper full-size mattress, measuring 79 by 27.5 inches, so drivers can sleep on a real bed instead of a cramped bunk. Heating systems are also built in, keeping the cabin warm even during freezing weather. The cabins are also designed to reduce noise from the highway and wind. This sound insulation makes it easier for drivers to rest without being disturbed. Since long-distance driving is tiring and stressful, being able to sleep well is directly linked to staying alert and safe while driving. Some Lamax models even have small kitchens, allowing drivers to cook their own meals. This gives them more freedom on the road and reduces the need to depend on restaurants or roadside stops. To help drivers and fleet managers explore their options, Lamax also offers a free online 3D tour. This digital tool lets people look inside the cabins, check the bed sizes, see the different layouts, and view extra features before making a decision. It makes the buying process much easier. Mack Protect is a safety system made for the Pioneer truck. It uses radar and forward-facing cameras as its main sensors and comes in 3 levels. The standard package includes forward crash warning, adaptive cruise control, automatic emergency braking, lane departure warning, and help in stop-and-go traffic, forward pedestrian detection, road sign recognition, and front airbags. The Pro package adds side awareness, help with lane changes, blind spot alerts, side pedestrian alerts, and side curtain airbags. The Premier package adds active steering through Max Command Steer electric motor to gently help keep the truck centered in its lane. The system constantly watches the road ahead and to the sides for vehicles, people, and other objects. If it spots trouble, it warns the driver with sounds, gentle vibrations, and a heads-up display that shows a red bar in the driver's view. It can recognize and show up to 3 traffic signs at the same time. It also tracks lane position and watches for signs that the driver may be distracted or getting tired. Drivers on the long haul, your cab doesn't have to be an oven. The MK2 from Zero Breeze cools you down and adds smart, modern features. It uses the same rotary compressor found in many home units, and it can drop the nearby temperature by about 10 to 30 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on the weather and how well the space is insulated. It blows cool air directly and has two hoses, one pulls air in and one pushes warm air out. It doesn't need any water or ice. Power draw is 240 watts, and the built-in inverter helps keep the startup surge low. You can add an optional 24-volt lithium battery pack for portable use. Expect roughly 3 to 5 hours of runtime, depending on your settings and the climate. A full charge takes about 6 hours with the included charger. The battery has a 12-volt car socket, 2 USB-A ports, a 60-watt USB-C PD port, and an Anderson power pole port. You can swap packs while it's running and charge from a wall outlet, solar panels with a controller, or a vehicle adapter. There are 4 modes. Cool mode gives maximum cooling. Fan only circulates air without cooling. Sleep mode lowers the sound level. Strong mode cools the space quickly. The 4-speed fan moves more or less air as needed, and noise ranges from about 40 to 52 decibels. Quiet enough for vans, small cabins, or other tight spaces. The unit is 20 inches long, 10 inches wide, and 11 inches tall. It weighs 16.5 pounds by itself, and about 27.5 pounds with the battery attached. There's no installation. Just connect the 2 flexible hoses for intake and exhaust. Condensation drains automatically. The unit costs $900. H2 Rescue is a hydrogen-powered truck prototype designed for emergency services. The hydrogen fuel cell produces 90 kilowatts of power, paired with a 250 kilowatts electric motor. It's about the size of a Class 7 truck, which weighs around 33,000 pounds. The hydrogen is stored under very high pressure, about 700 bar, and the truck can hold around 175 to 176 kilograms of it. On a full tank, it can travel up to 180 miles. Besides driving, the truck can also provide 25 kilowatts of electrical power for up to 3 days straight. Each year, this setup saves about 1,825 gallons of diesel and cuts down on 2.5 metric tons of carbon emissions. As a bonus, the system makes nearly a gallon of water every hour, which could be useful in the field. The truck works both as a vehicle and as a power station. It can keep lights on, power communication systems, and even run several FEMA trailers at once. Because it's electric, it runs quietly, and the only emission it produces is water vapor, making it much cleaner and calmer than diesel engines at disaster recovery sites. A major achievement came on October 2024. The truck drove 1,806 miles without refueling, earning a Guinness World Record for hydrogen-powered heavy-duty trucks. During this trip, it consumed 168 kilograms of hydrogen and kept an average speed of 50 to 55 miles per hour, all without releasing any carbon dioxide. If the same trip had been made with a diesel truck, it would have released more than 660 pounds of CO2. The ECAS system is also worth highlighting. It plays an important role in managing the air suspension, which improves both driving comfort and ease when loading the vehicle. The heart of the system is a small air-powered actuator that combines a solenoid valve and a pressure sensor into one piece. That cuts the parts needed from 5 to 2, making the system easier to install. Control is shared between the actuator and the vehicle's existing ECU. The actuator handles data on the spot, while the main software runs in the ECU. Because of this, you don't need a separate suspension control unit. On the road, the system can change ride height in real time, level the vehicle automatically based on load, and kneel to make boarding easier. These functions help keep the vehicle stable when weight shifts or the road gets rough, giving a smoother ride no matter the terrain. The design is modular, so it can plug into future vehicle tech, including autonomous features. Its compact size also saves space and weight. Production began in 2024 with a European customer and expanded in 2025 with Hyundai. The system is built at ZF's plant in Wrocław, Poland. It's backed by over 30 years of development and more than 6.5 million units in service. This setup lets you pull a vehicle from the side, up to a full right angle from the carrier's center line. It's made to bolt right onto most rollback carriers from brands like Jerdan, Chevron, Century, and Dynamic. The frame is modular, so you can install it with bolt-on parts or weld it in place depending on your carrier. The boom arm pivots, extends about 48 inches, and locks firmly when you set it. You can use either a hydraulic or an electric winch. Hydraulic models pull 8,000 to 10,000 pounds. They use a 3/8 inch synthetic or steel line and fit around 100 feet on the drum. Electric models run on 12 volt or 24 volt systems and pull up to 9,500 pounds. Depending on the setup, the whole system typically weighs 200 to 250 pounds. A qualified upfitter can handle the installation. Each kit includes the mounting brackets, the pivoting arm assembly, frame sections, and all the necessary hardware. Optional side panels and toolbox cutouts are available to match your carrier. The system can be purchased in one of its basic configurations for $20,000. With this small yet highly practical device, Kässbohrer earned second place at the renowned International Trailer Innovation Awards. The company's specialists identified a major issue. Many businesses suffer financial losses and reputational harm when trailers are broken into, whether through cargo theft or the smuggling of unauthorized passengers. It weighs about 2.2 pounds and is a small but powerful trailer security system. It is designed to detect any unauthorized access to a trailer. The device can be activated in two ways, either by using a remote control or automatically once the trailer is sealed and moving faster than 2 miles per hour. If it senses movement or tampering with the sides, roof, floor, or doors, it immediately identifies the exact spot of the breach. At the same time, it sends alerts via SMS, email, and a live web portal, while also triggering loud audio and bright visual alarms on site to draw attention. The device runs on an internal battery that lasts for about 2 years under normal use. It uses very little power and is enclosed in a durable housing rated IP69, meaning it is resistant to dust, high pressure water, and tough weather conditions. It can be installed in any type of trailer and mounted in different spots inside, such as the roof, floor, doors, or side panels. The installation process is simple, does not require changes to the trailer's structure, and can be completed in less than an hour at a service facility.